Hey everyone, today we're having an exclusive look at new Arcline Early Access. The devs and the publisher gave me an opportunity to play it before release so I can give my opinion on whether or not you should get the game. I usually don't review early access games, but Stalker 2 is giving me problems, so here you go. Also in this video there's a question for you to answer for a chance to win a new Arcline key for yourself. As always, if you like the video, subscribe for more. I hear you asking yourself, but Goblin, what is New Arcline? Well, my friends, it's a Magitech RPG, meaning it's an RPG in which technology and magic clash, and everyone is worse for it. Although people in power try to convince you otherwise. Let's look at everything from performance to gameplay to see if the game is worth playing.
I happen to have with me the most exquisite moonshine you will ever taste.
We're starting off with graphics and visuals which are pretty good. I like the character and monster models the most, and you'll come upon some very interesting creatures, from brothers who accidentally got fused together to fairies trying to feed your alcoholism. No, yeah, that really happened. Other visuals are also very good for what is basically an indie title. Some very interesting designs right off the bat, along with more traditional graphic style, really show the dystopia this world definitely is. There's also some surprises in form of reflections and lighting I didn't expect, not just while spellcasting but also in the open world. I'll give high marks for graphics and visual style, but performance-wise I'll have to dock some points, and here's why. Well, for the most part, when you start the game it works well without any noticeable frame drops or long loading times, but if you're in a longer session, cracks start to show. The game starts to run noticeably slower and loading times become a bit eyebrow-raising, even if you're playing the game on SSD, which most people today will. I also experienced one frozen screen, but surprisingly enough, when I alt-tapped out and checked if any of my components were maxed out, they weren't. I still had to end the process in the task manager and restart the game. This happened just once, so it's not a recurring problem. Still, I'd like to see some optimization in the future updates, which I don't doubt we'll get. Story and writing are up next. There is minor story and character spoilers, so if you want to go in blind, please skip to the next chapter in the description.
Hey Eddie, you heard anything about a circus rolling into town?
None of that across the pond.
Okay, so no Magitech RPG is complete without an enticing story. It's one of the most important, if not the most important part of this kind of games. New Arcline is very story and character focused game, and the beginning of the game did a great job of presenting the world and the state the world is in. The characters you meet very early in the game are simply amazing. Even some fleeting characters you meet have a lot of personality, and there are some humorous moments to kind of get your mind off the dystopia you're in. There's even bands playing music as if everything is great, but the more you talk to the people, the more quests you complete, the feeling of uneasiness and doubt does set in. Your first steps in the city might be full of awe and wonder, but it quickly changes to what's happening here. You'll uncover the deadly iron plague disease, people thrown out of homes because their work is now done by automatons, and straight up hatred of mages and everyone associated with them. The people you meet have quite some stories to tell and uncover too, so you won't want to miss on any interesting quests. A dwarf technician who wants to become an actor? Sure, why not? A strange mix between a goblin and a chicken who desperately needs armor? You got it. There's much more, and I urge you to find them all. You'll have to choose carefully though, because your choices have consequences. The world shifts towards either magic or technology based on your choices, and it affects you and your party companions, which have their own opinions on your decisions. And of course the people will react to how you treat them too. Finding out new lore is always interesting and you'll be immersed in games writing for hours and hours. But does the gameplay make or break this immersion?
Broken.
So here's the thing you'll see right from the start. The changes from the demo. The classes you can play are still just Diesel Engineer and Voodoo Mage. So on the surface you might think there's no real changes because the character creator is completely same as the demo, but this is where similarities end because there is loads more content. For example, look at this guy with his 4 zombies accompanying him. What could possibly go wrong? Well, everything you can imagine, and sadly I had to put his zombies down because they became a threat to society and we can't have that. Upholding law is of utmost importance to my character, except when, you know, breaking the law is to his benefit, of course. So yes, the game does offer loads more to explore and play through as the demo did, but there's other changes too. My Voodoo Mage did not start with the overpowered Link ability this time, and I actually had to craft more spells on my own. That's to get more than basic spells. So, what is crafting spells? Well, it's a very interesting mechanic. You collect magic cards through scrolls and rifts, and then go in the menu, choose cards that fit, and see which spells you get. You decide on either attack, defense, or utility for form, and then mix in 2 more cards which are compatible and reap the rewards in the form of your enemies being either dead or cursed. For Diesel Engineer, on the other hand, you'll have to be proficient in crafting to craft ammo and gear for them, but magic cards have also one other function. If you roll too low, you can use one of those to get to the number you have to, so you kinda have to choose, do I create spells or do I use it for that? But if you're not a magic user, you know, you can just ignore that. So yeah, the flow of the game is great. Yes, there's a lot of talking and walking around, but it never feels boring and combat is a big part of the game too. But even in just conversing and exploring, you'll have skill checks I mentioned before. These range from a number between 1 and 100, and your proficiency determines how likely you are to get the successful dice roll in deceiving, intimidating, mocking people, or on the other hand how likely you are to observe a secret entrance or a point of interest. Sometimes Lady Luck will be on your side and a couple won't willingly jump to their deaths. Other times, well, not so much. Combat itself depends on the mode you play. There is classic with harder combat, but there is also journalism, easier difficulty if you just want to enjoy the story, or if you maybe didn't finish Cuphead tutorial due to lack of skill. I do enjoy combat myself, especially when paired with crafting new spells, but I can see why some people wouldn't like it since it can be very bare bones. No, it's not near the levels of complexity of Baldur's Gate 3. In my case with Voodoo Mage the process is similar every time. High initiative enables me to go first, or worst second. So then I put down the extremely overpowered Taunting Totem, and then AoE the area around it and bask in the glory of me being a total scum with this tactic. Hey, an elf has to survive, right? So combat might not be everyone's cup of tea, but for me personally it does not take from the enjoyment of the game. And here's the giveaway question. Which non-action RPG had the best combat system and why, in your opinion? Answer in the comments for a chance to win new Arcline key. All in all, the gameplay is really good, even in this early stage, and I believe it will only get better. Music and sound are up next. I liked the music in the demo already and nothing's changed here. I'm especially a big fan of parlay conversation music, and some street musicians play absolute bangers. The music never seemed out of place or forced, so high marks for that. It also fits the setting and most situations you're in. I'd maybe like a bit more variety, but that may come at a later date. Sound is good for the most part, spells sound powerful, rifles and guns have great sound, and voice acting is absolutely great. Some voice actors really pour their souls into the characters they voiced, and I love it. There is one thing that bothered me enough though that I have to talk about, so that's cats. Cats will hiss and meow at you a bit too much, to the point you'll want to avoid them, the little buggers. So the final question is New Arcline worth getting in early access?
It appears we have company, my dear Mr. Newman.
I really like New Arcline. I can play this game and forget I've actual people in real life that would like me to talk to them instead of Red Simon or Mick in the game, which I would, but I have to have a drink with Red Simon, and well, there's a problem in the slums, and well, you get the point. New Arcline is a gripping RPG, and if you like CRPGs, it's pretty much the best choice in new arrivals right now. There's some Arcanum-like moments, so brace yourself for that, and people in the world don't mince words. They'll tell you what they think, and if you get offended, it's kind of a you problem. Unless you want to punch them in the mouth or curse them, then you're good. And yes, I said best CRPG in new arrivals. No, I do not count Dragon Age Veilguard, because that became an action RPG, so it's not the same game at all. But I do have a few recommendations if you want to play something else when you finish New Arcline. They might not be Magitech, but they are great. First off, we have Solasta Crown of the Magister, an RPG in which you can create your whole party and go on a quest to make you rich. Or die trying. Solasta boasts one of the deepest combats with plethora of skills, magic, and the need to work together with your team. It's good, you should play it. Second recommendation is Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. If you want an amazing story, great companions, awesome combat, all in all complete package already, you should go for this game. And hey, did I mention you can raise your own dragon in this game if so inclined? Well, you can. So, this was my opinion on New Arcline. Share your thoughts in the comments below, don't forget to answer the giveaway question hidden in this video, and subscribe for much more. That's it for this video. Goblin out. Bye.